Good morning. Welcome to Winnipeg. Now, I did remember to watch Peter's live show from Thailand. Yeah, after all of that, hubbub about, making sure that my cell phone was going to remind me and all that kind of stuff. Yesterday afternoon, I was getting all ready to go out on my e-bike, and I realized that, oh my goodness, in less than an hour, we're going to have the live show's going to be on. So I didn't go as far as I thought I was going to. I did go out. You'll see it in the rollback. Okay, yeah, wouldn't that have been funny? After all of that, I would have been out who knows how far away, riding on my bike, freezing half to death, and then all of a sudden, to make it even worse, remember, oh, I forgot. Anyway, I did catch it. It was, Peter, you did pretty good. Yeah. And you have really good internet there. There was no glitches or anything in the transmission, Yeah, it came across really good. Okay, now enough about that. There is going to be changes made here. Yes, and this is the change. Well, for today anyway. I haven't lost hardly any weight this whole month. And it's pizza day. So, yes, it's pizza day, and we got the pizza day cup, but we're not going to be having pizza. I'm not sure yet what we're going to have. I think probably a salad, and we're going to cut them calories down because I have been a bad boy. Yeah, I have fallen off the wagon about 5 times this month. And every time I do it, it sets me back several days. Yeah, because when I fall off the wagon, boy, I fall off good. Or bad, depending on how you want to look at it. We might have a nice sunrise this morning if the clouds cooperate. Yeah, I can see it's working up to being about 10 minutes, I guess, or so. I think it's going to be pretty. We'll stick it at the end of today's episode. I hope it works out. We haven't had a real spectacular sunrise for a long time. We've been able to see the sun, but with all the clouds just right and just the vibrant colors and stuff like that. Oh, and by the way, I do not enhance it. I know some people will take sunrise and sunset pictures and they'll boost the color. To me, that just looks so phony. Anyway, yeah, the sunrise, instead of being a nice orangey red, is almost magenta. Anyway, enough about that. I guess if that's the sort of thing you like to do, well, go for it. We got to do some painting here today. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you about the Missy's dog cookies. Okay, now, this is what I've been buying for Missy. About, every 6 weeks, 2 months or so, I order from Amazon, Milkbone. And I was just going on Amazon yesterday. I realized I'm getting low here. This is all that's left. And so I thought I better get some more. So I went to order it. And the price, it is, right now, it is almost 3 times of what I spent. I think it was $27 and change for one of these. And I couldn't find it on Amazon anywhere cheaper. Whereas before, I was buying them delivered to the door for around $10, and I bought 2 of them for $20.20 or something like that. And so, so I thought, well, what's happened here? So I went on Superstore's website, and Superstore has them on right now for, you can get limit of 2 for $9 and change. After that, I think it's about $11. So Superstore is actually open right now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in the car in a few minutes and just run over there, because I'm not going to spend $27 and change just to get it delivered to the door. I mean, that's craziness. I think the weather looks like it's going to be good today, so I might even get out on the e-bike again. What's the temperature here? Oh my, minus 8.5. Well, it might warm up. It did yesterday, but we'll see what happens. This good weather we're having, it can't hold. It can't hold. It's still too early. It's still just February. I've talked about that before. Anyway, I've talked too much here. Yesterday, I think I started out saying we were going to paint our little desk, and we didn't. All we did was, the only painting we did was this little wheel here. That's pretty pathetic. It'd be nice to get through step 18 by the end of today, and the only way I can is if I get these parts painted and some of them glued in place on the bulkhead, which is over in a safe place. Okay, I did go down in the workshop, so we got a tiny bit of a rollback. It's not long again, so let's roll back. Now, if you remember in yesterday's episode, I said something about wanting to get out on the e-bike. Well, I did get out. The weather held, and I would say it was probably a little bit milder than the last time I was out. It was nice. It was fun. It would have been nicer if it was, a nice balmy summer day, but it was good to get out. I did not wear my chest cam, so unfortunately I have no video to show you, other than what you're seeing here. Maybe I'll get out again today. We'll see how it goes. It all depends on the weather. Last night after I finished videoing, I treated the top here with some table and tool surface sealant. It's sort of a wax. Now, I could have done a better job if I had have taken 1000 grit sandpaper, put it in my orbital sander, and sanded this down. There's some places that, like right here for instance, it's not quite as smooth right there, and what's happened is there's a little bit of rust there. I must have left a piece of green wood on there, and that moisture went into the tabletop and rusted it. Here's another spot over here, and when you rub your hand over it, you can feel it. It's not quite as smooth, but we basically got it. And anyway, let's just test it out here with this board that we're going to use, and yeah, it's going to be just fine. Now, I want to remember to tension the blade. That's what that red strap was for, to remind me. So I'm just going to quickly do that, lower the guides, and then we'll saw this. Okay, as long as I got the guide up, may as well check the blade for square. That's pretty good. Yeah, it's not worth trying to tweak that up. That's going to be good enough. I'll pull the blade through a little bit just to make sure that the blade is square on the tires. I don't think I've ever had it come off unless I forget to tension the blade. If I forget to tension the blade, it'll come off right away. Then you gotta fiddle around getting it back on again. Oh, you want to see it go, don't you? Okay. Here you go. Now remember, keep your eye on the blade.
Okay. Let's recompose the camera here. I'll put you over on the other side and you can look this way. It's about the best I can do. Now, I had forgotten here that I had already preset my miter gauge for 20 degrees. And it helped to keep the board at a perfect angle so that when I went into the blade, I didn't have to be adjusting it like this. You'll notice when I came in this way, I didn't get it quite right and I had to back out, but it came out quite good actually. In a couple of months you'll see why it is that I cut this joint. I didn't have to do it, but I thought as long as I can, why not? Okay, I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to do the second one pretty much exactly the same way. So there's no use showing it because you've already basically seen it being done. Problem is I got to stand up to do it. No, it's not that bad. Well, I think we're pretty much done down here for this evening. There was only two cuts or two different pieces that we had to make. Well, I guess four altogether, because we had to make two like this, and then we had to cut a couple like this on the table saw, if you remember. Yeah, all the rest are going to be 90-degree cuts. I just have to make sure I get the lengths right. We'll do a little bit maybe every evening, and I won't be videoing every single one, but I got 2 months to get this box made. I know it was nice today, and I got out on the e-bike, and a person tends to have to think, oh my goodness, spring is here, but spring is not here. It's still February. It's Winnipeg. Yeah, we're not going to be getting spring probably for about 2 months yet, unless we're really lucky. then maybe 6 weeks. We'll see what happens. Okay. See you in the morning.
Oh, sure. Now, I can't get this lid off. I was noticing that, I don't think I've ever had it off before, but I was noticing on the top of the lid here, it looks like there's been paint spilled. And then if you look right in here, you can see that it looks like there is paint there. Now, I think this probably happened in the factory, but this is all, the lid is glued on. And this is the only, as far as I know, this is the only 37 I've got. Yeah, that's, we got a problem here, folks. We got a problem. I think this is the only 37 I've got. Just let me check. Okay. You know, I don't remember having this problem with the Tamiya jars. Okay, I did get it. But I got it by turning up my heat gun to 260 degrees Fahrenheit and heating up the lid really good. And this, what do we got going on in here? Well, let's see what it looks like once it's mixed up. But that's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. Okay, this is the one that we had thinned out and used to paint the, I think it was the beds. Yeah. Okay, let's see what we got here. I'll just sort of recompose a little bit. Okay, I took this in the back room and I shook it up in the paint shaker after I got all the pigment off the bottom of the jar. And I think we pretty much got it now. This might take 2 coats. And I'm only going to do the sides. No use doing the top or the bottom. So we'll just do the sides. My brush has gotten kind of damaged there, hasn't it? This paint is going on a lot better than that, the white we had on the sink. Okay. I think that's going to be good for a first coat. And this is the only, oh, did I get the top here? Didn't get the top of this. I think that might show. Oh, I got a little corner there I missed. Okay, like I say, for the first coat, that's going to be okay, and I think after second coat, it's going to be okay. And I think if I just set it down on the corners there, that's not going to hurt anything. Okay, let's get our lid back on, and I'm going to go to Superstore, and hopefully they're not sold out of the dog cookies. Okay, so here's what's happened. Got back from Superstore, and when I'm there, I think to myself, they're probably not going to be all sold out of these ones on sale, but they weren't. And they had them there on sale as advertised at $9 and change for limit of 2. And I'm thinking, well, I'll buy 2, and then I'm noticing that a little further over on the shelf there's a big box that of the dog biscuits, and they're I think it was a 2 kilogram box. And I'm thinking, oh, that'll probably work out a little cheaper. And so I'm sort of doing the math in my mind, and while I'm doing that, I see this really big box. and it's 6,500 grams. Okay, 6,500 grams. This only has 708. Well, I did the math here. I get 9.2 times as much, but only spending about 2.5 times as much. So, yeah, what am I going to do, right? Well, Missy's in luck now until at least, I'm thinking, the middle of summer. She's going through about 3 a day. In fact, she was just here just a few minutes ago. Yeah, she drags her owners over here. I mean, as soon as she comes outside to do her business, she's more interested in coming to my door. Then she does her business. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Funny little dog, eh? I like that little dog. Anyway, if I didn't like that little dog, I wouldn't be spending, what was it? $23.99 for 6,500 grams. Later on, I got to thinking, I wonder if Amazon happens to sell those big boxes of dog cookies. And so I checked, and sure enough, there they were. They were cheaper than what I paid this morning at Superstore, delivered to the door. I could have saved the gas, saved a little bit of money. Oh my goodness, I can't win for losing. While I was at Superstore, I had the electric heater going on this, so this is ready for the second coat. I think I'm going to just quickly put it on, and then we'll do the green, and yeah, let's try and get the painting done on this step 18 here. That's the plan. Okay, everything has 2 coats on it now, except for this little whatever it is. And I'm afraid that if it already looks pretty good the way it is, and I'm afraid that what could happen is I'm going to fill in the detail if I give it a second coat, and I don't think the second coat is actually going to improve on it at all. It actually covered really well, so I'm just going to leave this one. And our doors have 2 coats, desktop has 2 coats, sides, yeah, it's all got two coats. So I think we're about ready to try and glue some of these pieces where they're supposed to go. Now, the desk does not get placed, I think, until the next step. But we can put the doors on now, I think. Well, this one for sure, and this piece for sure. And then there's our little wheel here. It goes on, and then this piece right here, it gets. I'm gonna lose it, aren't I? It goes right here, and I'm just debating what kind of glue to use for that.
and then I will try and just touch up the outside afterwards. It gets painted with the same paint as this was, and I'll just very, very gently just do the top surface. And once again, it may not actually get you know. Okay, quit poking around here. Okay, what I've got here is some Tamiya thick. I guess I should have been better prepared. I couldn't find my tweezers. Now, according to the manual, this is supposed to go in like this. And I want to just try and poke it down into that hole if I can without flattening it out. Okay, I think if we let that dry, that will be just about right. And I was going to use Gabe's swab here to apply the glue, and then I realized that I could probably do it with the applicator. So, okay, let's not poke at it, Ron. Let's not poke at it. Let's let that dry, and then we'll very carefully paint the top of it. Well, we won't try to paint underneath it because we'll get it on the door, won't we? Okay, so what have I got going on here? Well, this is cream of lettuce soup. I haven't tasted it yet. I've made it before. It's not that bad. Put a lot of spices in it. And yeah, there's not very many calories in this. I made a big pot of it for about 200 calories, and that's there's still more in the kitchen. It might be staying in the kitchen. Let's just have a little sip here and see what we got here. Well, it's not that bad. I don't think I'm going to use a spoon. I think I'm probably going to drink it. I think I'm going to transfer this into some sort of a cup. Yeah, it's actually not that bad. It's surprisingly good, in fact. Well, it's not as good as pizza, I'll admit that. Okay, let's see if we can maybe get our little tiny door handle painted here. And then I'm going to have to call her quits. I got a call about, I'm guessing 20 minutes, half an hour ago, my son phoned me and he says, you want a coffee visitor? And I said, sure. So he's going to be coming by a little after 2. So yeah, we're going to have to wrap it up here. So, okay, let's paint our door, and then that's going to be it for today. Okay, we're going to want to go really easy here. I don't have any paint on my brush yet, but I opened up the camera about 3/4 of a stop overexposed. And the reason for that is because this paint is so dark. Now, let's be careful not to touch the door. Okay, I think I'm best off quitting while I'm ahead here. I'm not going to try and paint underneath, you know, the underside of the handle. Sure I got the end. Okay, I think that's going to be it. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and all being well.
We're gonna see you tomorrow. Oh, I just looked in the monitor. I missed a little spot here. Okay, did I get it? Yep. Now we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, I just saw another spot. How come I'm missing this? You know, why am I going to all this work? Nobody's going to see this thing anyway.